What is up, sports world? Welcome into Straight Up Sports. I'm your host, Keith Dotley, and I hope that all of y'all are having an absolutely fantastic day. It's episode 2. I'm excited. I think we got some good stuff today. I've been trying to get out the last couple days, but some technical difficulties, some things pop up. I was really busy last week, so here we are. Better late than never, and yeah. But first, before we get into the sports, I want to thank all the new subscribers, all the people who liked the last video. We got about 115 views. Thank you for every one of y'all who watched the last video. It means a lot, and I don't do this for the views or anything like that. I just do it because I'm a sports geek, and I love talking about sports, and it's fun to me. But I want to thank all y'all, and I also want to thank all the people who DM'd me, sent me on Snapchat criticisms, advice, comments, all that stuff to make the show better. I'm going to be factoring that into here over the next month or so. Future episodes. It may be hard to do with this one because I'm trying to get it out because I have another episode I want to do soon with some NBA free agency predictions and some reactions and stuff like that. So it may take a little while, but thank you so much. And special shout out to Carter Reben. He reposted the video on his Instagram story. It was. And that means a lot. So shouts to Carter. And from now on, I guess if anyone wants to repost the video on their story or Snapchat, Instagram, Twitter, anywhere, it mean a lot, and I'll shout you out on the next video. So yeah, let's get straight into the sports. Starting off with the NBA. So a couple nights ago, NBA awards on TNT. First of all, Shaq's hilarious. He did an awesome job with that entire show. But the awards were good. Giannis Antetokounmpo, my guy up there, he won the MVP, averaging over 27 points per game, over 12 rebounds, around 6 assists, and over a block and a steal a game, while doing that with incredible efficiency and not that many minutes, and really elevated Milwaukee to the number 1 team in the East from the 7th seed the year before. And he deserved the MVP completely, I think. I was super excited he won it because that is my favorite player. And he delivered a great speech afterwards. If you haven't seen it, go watch it. It's amazing. And I was super happy. Luka Doncic won Rookie of the Year. Super happy again. He's my second favorite player in the league, probably. The Mavs are my second favorite team behind the Bucks. And I just love Luka. He had a phenomenal season. I think he averaged 21 points. He had over 6 rebounds, over 6 assists. That for a rookie is off the charts. He's great. He's going to keep being great, and I can't wait to see what comes of his career. Pascal Siakam. This was, I think, one of the closest calls. I thought the other two were pretty clear-cut who should have won it. Could argue for James Harden for the MVP. But D'Angelo Russell and De'Aaron Fox, both former top 5 picks. I think that's why Pascal Siakam won the award, because he was a second-round pick. Rose from a little bit of obscurity this year. To end up being really a number 2 player at times, sometimes the number 3 when Kyle Lowry was on that Raptors championship team. And like I said, Russell and Fox, both former top 5 picks, both deserving the award, but Siakam wins it. And I think he deserved it. And finally, Rudy Gobert, one of the premier defensive players in the league, wins Defensive Player of the Year. And probably the best shot blocker in the league. I understand why he won it. Of course, I wanted Giannis to win it, but I'm not upset with that. So the writers did a great job picking the awards, and hands down to them, hats off as well. But they did an awesome job. They picked the guys who should have won, and the margins weren't really close a lot of the time. Giannis got 78 of the first place votes for MVP, so really a landslide. Harden got around 20. Luka Doncic got 98 of the 100 first place votes for Rookie of the Year. A lot of people thought Trae Young had a good shot at winning it. Ended up the writers didn't see it the same way, and I think they made the right call. The fans were also big winners. It was a good show. Shaq was hilarious. We were all happy with the guys who got picked. But the big winner is the NBA front office and Adam Silver. Now, Adam Silver, love him or hate him, I'm not a huge fan. My dad absolutely despises him. Kind of looks like a vampire, low-key. But See, since he took over as commissioner of the NBA, he's been trying to expand the game globally, push to other countries. I think he realizes America is always going to be a football country, at least for the next 50 to 100 years. The NFL has a gridlock on the country. The NFL playoffs are more urgent. They mean more. The Super Bowl is more watched than any NBA Finals game ever. And the regular season, every game matters in the NFL. And basketball, the NBA is just hard to replicate that. And I think that he realizes that. So that's why he's tried to expand the game globally. You look at the Basketball Without Borders camp. They take kids from mostly South Africa, part of Europe and Africa, and they bring them in for a week during the NBA All-Star break. And they have scouts there. Players get on the NBA radar. You look at Sekou Doumbouya, who got picked by the Pistons 15th in the NBA draft. He was at that camp. Joel Embiid came from that camp. Pascal Siakam, I'm pretty sure, was in that camp. Now, it's translated into good players for the league, but it's also helped expand the NBA's influence across the waters, to other countries, to other places, across the world. And it's really helping expand the game beyond America. Big goal here. The NBA's also been playing preseason games in China recently. I know as a Mavericks fan, the Mavericks played their preseason games in China this year. It's a little bit weird, but hey, it's helping. Yao Ming really brought China into focus. Also, Jeremy Lin did it as well. The NBA into focus in that country, and it's one of their big sports right now. They love it over there. They're big fans of the NBA. Now, by doing this, Adam Silver, the NBA office, are helping expand the popularity of the NBA globally. While it may not match the NFL in America, but it's helping expand basketball, expand the NBA, bring more revenue in, have more influence, expand the league as a whole, help bring better talent that would have formerly been undiscovered into the league. And I think Giannis being from Greece, Luka Doncic being from Slovenia, Pascal Siakam being from Cameroon, and Rudy Gobert being from France, none playing college in the U.S., all being drafted in the NBA from foreign countries, is helping expand that influence. And you heard Giannis, you heard Siakam, even Rudy Gobert. They were all talking about where they came from, how they came from obscurity to rise to prominence in the NBA, be NBA stars. And I think the NBA front office has to be ecstatic about that. Nextly, these award winners really push the NBA in a unique place, in a unique direction. You see, the NBA has always had some controversy behind it. You look back at past eras, there's black marks, there's stains. There's things where we kind of write that out of the history. LeBron James, the star of the last probably 10, 15 years in the league, the face of the league. He left his city, then went to Miami, left it without telling anybody, then leaves Cleveland again. He's kind of wishy-washy sometimes. You know, you don't always know what you're going to get from him. And a lot of people don't like that. You look at Michael Jordan, the star of the 90s, maybe, probably, in my opinion, the greatest of all time, until Giannis takes it away. But that's another story. MJ, it was rumored that he left the NBA to go play baseball because of some conspiracies about him having a gambling issue and him making a deal with David Stern, the NBA commissioner at the time, saying, look, go play baseball, get out of the league, we'll cover your reputation, and you can stay clean, but you have to leave the league for a couple of years, get your issues figured out, and then we'll admit you back in. Now, I'm not saying they're true. There's a lot of convincing evidence saying they are true, but it's there. Kobe Bryant, another star of the 2000s, he probably bridged the gap between MJ and LeBron. He was normally rude. He had some conspiracies, some black marks on his resume, some scandals that got covered up, a lot of people think. Now, I'm not going to get into them because they're kind of dark. You can research them if you want to, but it's not good. He also drove Shaq out of town. He wasn't easy to get along with. He was fierce to a fault, rude to a fault. It drove him to win championships, but also drove away some of his closest teammates, some of his opportunities at winning at a higher level. Allen Iverson, Practice? We're talking about practice? He was brash. He was unapologetic. He was involved in some trouble when he was in high school. And you look at his career after the NBA, he's been in some legal trouble. He's ran out of money. Not the best role model. Not the best ambassador for the league. And then there was a stain on the late 1980s, early 1990s, the bad boy Pistons. There was Ron Artest in the early 2000s. There's been a history of pretty brutal physicality and clotheslines, cheap shots. Ron Artest getting into a fight with a fan. There's been that image at a time in the NBA. Even a time where people want to look at, Magic Johnson, Larry Bird. There were clotheslines, there were punches, there were brawls, all that. It was not as clean as people want to remember. Even in the 1970s, there were drug issues in the league. David Thompson scored 24 or more points in each of his first 4 seasons towards the end of the late 1970s. Looked like one of the next stars, one of the premier scorers we'd ever seen in the NBA. He fell to drug issues. His scoring dropped dramatically. And you saw a lot of other players that happened to too. Len Bias died overdosing on cocaine the night he was drafted in the early 80s. There's a past of drugs in the NBA. All these things you look at, you kind of wince. You don't want to admit that. The NBA doesn't want you to remember that. But you look at these guys who won the awards. Giannis, Lucas, Siakam, Gobert. You look at their speeches. You look at the way they carry themselves. They're all great guys. They're all humble. They're all grounded. They're all classy. And the NBA could move in a unique direction here. The NBA is still going to get attention on social media. It's still going to be popular. It's still going to be a cultural phenomenon. But the rising stars, the faces of the league, are going to be very humble and be great role models for children at home. It's going to be really cool to watch. And who knows, maybe some brash player comes up, steals it from everybody, and we're back to where we have been. I'm not saying this is a bad place that we have been in, but you got to recognize that the NBA is kind of moving in a new direction, and that can be really cool and interesting to watch the next couple of years. And even you look at a guy like Zion Williamson coming in. He was bawling his eyes out after he got drafted. So well-spoken, so humble. It's going to be interesting to see this new direction that the NBA is moving in the future. All right, so now moving on to the NFL. Jacksonville Jaguars are a mess. An absolute and utter mess. So Sports Illustrated reports about 2 weeks ago, Jalen Ramsey will not get a contract extension this year. Yes, the Jalen Ramsey that's been in the league 3 years, averaged 3 interceptions per season, had 7 interceptions in the last 2 years, 2-time Pro Bowler, All-Pro last year, absolute stud, athletic, hard-hitting, aggressive, everything you want in a cornerback. He can talk the talk, he can walk the walk, but they won't give him a contract extension. They have money locked up in so many bad contracts. Yannick Ngakoue, one of their star pass rushers, is holding out of camp right now. They can't re-sign Jalen Ramsey, and their future looks even dimmer than before. Now, you look at the cap situation. They've spent money on a lot of bad investments. Andrew Norwell, an offensive guard, their highest paid player, $16 million this year they owe him. AJ Boye, their other corner, who's a great corner, borderline Pro Bowler, year in, year out. He's been a stud. He's great opposite Jalen Ramsey, but Jalen Ramsey should be getting that $15.5 million a year, not AJ Boye. Calais Campbell, great player, but he's aging. $14.5 million. You like that to be more around 10, but one of the premier interior pass rushers in the league. Nick Foles, they just signed a quarterback. He's an upgrade over Blake Bortles. Don't fault them for that. I'll talk about Blake Bortles later. But Marquise Lee at $9 million a year. DJ Hayden, an average slot corner at $7.5 million a year, making just about what Jalen Ramsey is at the moment. Leonard Fournette can't stay healthy. He's owed $7.5 million a year. Brandon Linder, their center, $5.5 million a year. They have so much money tied up in bad contracts. And wait, it gets worse. They owe Blake Bortles $15 million next year to be a backup on another team. That's awful. That is absolutely terrible. You can't do that. It's an NFL franchise. They thought they owed it to him. He's now the backup for the Rams. And they're paying him $15 million to play for another team. They pay that money just to get him out of town. So you have $27.5 million basically wrapped up in your quarterback position when you combine Nick Foles and Blake Bortles, what they're owing both of them. No wonder they can't pay Jalen Ramsey, can't pay Yannick Ngakoue. Now you look back at 2 years ago, Sacksonville took the league by storm. They made it all the way to the AFC Championship game. Probably should have beat the Patriots. There were some bad calls at the end of the game, but Patriots won the game. The Eagles go on to win the Super Bowl that year, but Jacksonville was a breakthrough. After years of obscurity, ever since Maurice Jones-Drew, Fred Taylor, David Garrard, that core left. They went through the Blaine Gabbert era. It didn't really work out. They finally get back to the AFC Championship game. They were successful, and it comes crashing back to the ground next year. You look at the team they were matched up with in that game, we said, wow, they have a young defense. Ramsey, Boye, Miles Jack, Yannick Ngakoue, Malik Jackson. They have a young offense, too. They had a core of good receivers. They had Leonard Fournette. They had a good O-line at the time. Now they're paying him a boatload of money. But we said, wow, that team could be good in a couple of years. They could sustain that. Fell back down to earth last year. You look at the Patriots. They didn't overpay players. Traded away Chandler Jones, Malcolm Butler, Jamie Collins. Now, Chandler Jones is still a great player, but the Patriots said, we can have a comparable player, maybe not as good, but we can pay them a fraction of the cost. You look at Malcolm Butler, he's fallen off since he's left the Patriots. Jamie Collins is kind of caught in no man's land right now after he played for the Browns for a little bit. The Patriots didn't overpay for players. The Jaguars did, and now they're paying for it. They paid Blake Bortles that huge deal because the defense carried them to an AFC Championship game. Now they're paying the price. One good year can't change a dysfunctional franchise. Tom Coughlin can't either. Great football mind, but the owner really doesn't care. He's a financial mogul. He's out here just making his money, doing his thing. And this could spell the end for Doug Marrone and Tom Coughlin, that duo. After it looked like they were going to have really good success after a couple good drafts, after making it to the AFC Championship game. But man, if you asked me at the time, I'd say, yeah, the Patriots are going to decline. Tom Brady's leaving pretty soon. They're going to go down. They won the Super Bowl last year. The Jaguars, they're in a bad place, and they really only have themselves to blame, and that's sad. All right, college now. I kind of rolled college football, college basketball into one for this story because it's related. It's the NCAA as a whole, and so it really addresses all college sports, and I didn't want to make this episode too long, so let's get into it. So California, the state Senate passed a bill saying that starting in 2023, college athletes will be able to profit off their name, likeness, and image. So that means they can get paid for their popularity, for their appearances on TV, for any deals they want to do, any shirts with their face on it, any jerseys, that type of thing. Now, 2 more committees must approve the bill to keep it alive so that it could go into effect in 2023. The NCAA is cracking back hard. Mark Emmert, the president and chairman of the NCAA, was quoted as saying, the bill will have a negative impact on the exact student athletes it intends to help. He's clearly hinting that they would be excluded from national championships and national championship tournaments, like the National Basketball Tournament, March Madness, and also the FCS football tournament, the College World Series, those type of things, even the college football playoff at this point. This would be detrimental to California schools. Now, at first, it looks, they can get all the recruits. And yeah, they get a lot of top-end recruits, get a lot of talent, but that's unfair because other states aren't paying players to go to their school. You basically have USC, UCLA, as Alabama, as Clemson every year. And it'd be 2 Pac-12 teams in the championship. It wouldn't be fair. they'd have an unfair edge in recruiting. It'd be an uneven playing field. And Mark Emmert's right. Now, a lot of people are upset at this. They're saying, oh, well, they should just pay the player. Well, yeah, if the NCAA passes broad stretching reform that includes all the schools that are a part of the NCAA. But this is only California we're talking about. So, yeah, if this gets passed, it'd be unfair. It'd make athletes professional, not amateurs. The NCAA is an amateur organization, and therefore they'd be able to play, but they'd be excluded from national championship tournaments, championship games, even conference championship games, I believe. It's not good. And if California passes this bill, they're going to be absolutely nuking the USC, UCLA, San Diego State, Fresno State, all these schools, Stanford, who have developed pretty good athletic departments. They'd be crashing the floor because they couldn't participate in bowl games, couldn't participate in national championships, any of that. It'd be an absolute mess. Couldn't compete in the NCAA tournament. And the NCAA, they're cracking down on it, and I think they're going to win. I don't see any way that California goes through with this. And if they do, it'd really be an embarrassment over anything. All right, so now going into the last segment, I wanted to talk about two particular players on my high school football team. Now, I don't play for the team anymore, but I announced the games on Friday nights. I do the second halves, and absolutely love it. And there's nothing I'd rather do probably than sit there, announce the game, watch my friends play. And our team's pretty good. We made it to the district semifinals last year, and some big news just came out. So Will Howard, he's a 3-star quarterback prospect, according to 24/7 Sports, and he's the quarterback in my high school. He just committed to Kansas State. Now, he's incredibly talented. 6'5", 215. He's an absolute stud. Super smart, super hardworking, great teammate. I played with him for a year, and I'm super happy for him. Now, Kansas State is a great fit. See, Colin Klein, who you might remember was a Heisman finalist a couple of years back, he's the quarterback's coach there now and has a significant role in the offense. The coach they just hired came from North Dakota State. He was the coach who coached Carson Wentz when they were at North Dakota State. And you've seen the success he's had. So, this is a great move for Will. He's going to star in the Big 12. He's going to put up a lot of passing stats. And Alex Delton, Skylar Thompson, those two quarterbacks, they've struggled the last couple of years. Kansas State's quarterback situation as a whole has kind of been in flux, kind of been a mess, honestly, ever since Colin Klein left. So he has a great chance. He's a class of 2020 prospect, so he's still going to be in high school this year, but the next year he can compete for the starting job. And I think he has a good shot at winning it. And he'll fit into the Big 12 great. You know, they put up a lot of passing stats. Ball goes through the air a lot. And it's a fun brand of football to watch. And I think he's going to really succeed. And I just want to say congratulations to Will. I think he's going to kill it. And I can't wait to see what he does at Kansas State. Now moving on to another football player at Downtown West. I forgot to say that. Brad Pezic, our middle linebacker. He's one of, if not my best friend. And he's undersized, about 5'9", 190. He's working so hard to get up to 200. But he's instinctive. He reads his keys. He's quick. He's fast. He's physical. And he loves the game of football. He's a film junkie. And he just got named to the All-State 6A third team. And that's a huge accomplishment for him. I remember he texted me and he was like, yo, what does this mean? I was like, it means you just made the All-State third team. And he was like, oh, for real? It was a really cool moment. And I'm super excited for him. He's worked so hard for this. He loves the game so much. He loves the school. He loves putting that helmet on. And he does whatever it takes to improve. And it's really showing now. He had a spectacular season last year. 78 tackles. Had an interception. Some fumble recoveries. And I can't wait to see what he does in his senior year. And he doesn't really want to play football in college, but this is his time. This is what he wants to do. He wants to play high school football, and he's making the most of it right now. And I couldn't be more happy for him. I couldn't be more happy for Will. And I can't wait to see what happens with our season this year. I'm thinking about doing a weekly recap maybe, or every other week, of how the team's doing, what players are playing good, and just kind of filling y'all in. I know a lot of people go downtown west to watch my channel, but if you don't, I think it'd be cool for you to find out about our team. It's a lot of great guys, and I think we're going to have a really good year this year. So you can let me know in the comments below, or DM me. A lot of y'all have my numbers, my social media. So yeah, let me know what y'all think. I think it'd be a lot of fun, and can't wait to get back up in that booth announcing the game this year. And that's it. Thank you so much for watching. Please comment, subscribe, like it. Just watch the videos. At the end of the day, that means a lot. And yeah, until next time, we out west.